I am now indoors. It's so buggy out. Okay, so we were on the couch, and it seemed like the conversation was over. He was like, he was on the couch, feet up on the table. I was on the green chair, and it was weird. It's like I was excited because I have been, well, for a long time now, a little obsessed with pedophilia, the extreme evil of it, and like there's a movement to normalize it and like not legalize it, but there's been a shift in like not so much demonizing it and in our society. Whatever. I mean, in my conspiracy shit, there's always talk about pedophile rings, and I don't know about any of that. It's like it could be a crazy time, but it exists. Pedophilia exists. I was sexually abused at a young age. So anyway, lately I've had like this fascination, and so just seeing this intelligent instead of an insane experience, instead of an insane conspiracy video, this interesting and intelligent video talking about Nabokov and the Shirley Temple thing, and how Graham Greene, the author, who also did movie criticism, wrote darkly of Shirley Temple back in the 40s. Okay, so I'm into it. I have just been absorbing it. There's silence. The conversation seems over. He seemed blank. He didn't seem... I wasn't getting a Mudo reader from him. So I started talking about it. I was like, oh my God, I'm just watching this video about how in the book Lolita, like the author takes literal scenes from Shirley Temple and kind of subverts them in the novel, and he just looks not pissed, but like more like FML. And I went, and I felt like kind of dumb. Like I'm like jumping into this whole big other topic that's kind of dark when we've just been talking about stressful stuff that is in our real life. So that's how I felt. I was like, oh, I'm bringing this up right now, especially with him. He's not good with transitions. I probably could have jumped into it with you. So I said, oh, this is probably not what you want to be hearing right now. Not in a like pouty way or like, fine, nobody cares about what I say. I was just like, what I just said. And he goes, I get like a moment of inspiration and it's killed by conversation that never ends or something. I don't know if he said it never ends, but it was nasty. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was on the front steps doing my thing. You came out to talk to me. What's your problem? What did he had nothing to say. He said nothing. Except for, I've been overwhelmed. And I was like, I know. I'm overwhelmed too. We're overwhelmed. We got a lot of decisions to make and not a lot of money. But you just bit my head off. And I don't understand it. Because you came to me to talk. And we talked. So, and I had a feeling it was like the Lolita thing, like bothered him. Like, I'm going to talk endlessly till the end of time. I wasn't sure. Of course, he doesn't say anything. And I felt really upset at his non-communication, and I was fucking biting my head off. He doesn't usually snap. It was bitchy. So I was like, I'm going outside. I go back to my steps, and I'm like, I can't sit here. And I thought about my therapist, and I was like, I'm going to go for a walk. that will help me. And as I walked around the block, I was like, okay, like, what just happened? And I like went through all the steps of how he approached me originally and the things we talked about. And I was like, I don't know if I even mentioned this in the last video, but like he initially approached me and was like, I find that I can get the moss out of the cracks in the backyard with a paint scraper. And I guess he seemed a little excited about that. And I was like, oh, I thought we were getting a landscaper. Like, this is a lot of work, you know? And I wasn't bitchy like you and your little scraper. I was like, the backyard and the front yard is a lot of work. And again, I got into like, just when you've got one piece of it done, the other piece is like out of control, and it's going to take weeks, and we'd like to not take weeks on this. So I guess I replied not with like, cool, but with advice and criticism, not in a bitchy tone, more like concerned, like, well, you know. And in the end, I don't know if I said this in the last video, I was like, fine, like, because it will save money. And he was talking about, he's like, it's me, like Mexican guys with like leaf blowers, and you know, they're not gonna do that much. And so I was like, okay, all right, whatever. In my heart, I don't agree, but I do get what he's saying. And then from there, we jumped into getting a realtor and getting good pictures and all that stuff. And so this is what I'm thinking on my walk. I'm like, what was the point where he felt like he had a moment of inspiration that was ruined by conversation? And then I was pissed off. He never seemed pissed off when he started about so I was thinking, I was like, it was when I didn't like get with him on his new idea for getting the moss out. Like, that had to be it. But he showed nothing. We talked. We did have a conversation. He did approach me. I don't really get it. I don't get it completely. So I did my walk and I thought it through, and I also thought, oh, he was probably like, Jesus fucking Christ, when I started talking about something that interests me very much, but it was bad timing. And okay, I can see how this went for him, and he's not good at expressing himself. It's very strange that he really, really bit my head off. That's like so rare. So I'm gonna come back, and of course he's in bed. And I go in, and we have this protracted, like, I was like, can you please explain yourself? Like, tell me what I did wrong. Like, how did I hurt your feelings or make you angry? Can you please tell me? And it was slow. And the only thing he would say was, I'm overwhelmed. And I'd be like, I know, but you don't usually snap my head off. And then he goes, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. I was like, I don't know if you know this, but that's not considered an apology. That's actually really insulting. If you're sorry, say you're sorry. And if you're not sorry, then don't. Basically, it comes out as a fake apology. Like, you're saying something to make me feel better that you don't really mean. And it's really insulting. And I can see through it, and the whole world can. Everybody knows it's a bad apology. And I was like kind of biting his off. I was pissed off. And then I was like, oh, I don't want to be doing this. I'm making it worse. So he ignores that. And he just wouldn't tell me. Oh, there was this snotty moment when I was like, I was minding my own business, and you came along and started talking to me, and it took off from there. And he was like, well, he's like, you were all hurt and mad that I didn't want to talk about your book. And I was like, no. I was like, I felt stupid that I brought it up because I realized it was not like a good timing. So I backpedaled. I said, "This, you're not feeling this." I wasn't mad. I didn't act mad. So there was that moment. And what else? There's something. These things take a long time. There's silence. There's one little comment. There's me babbling along, trying to extract information, and then realizing I'm just overwhelming him with too many words. It's hard to remember like anything useful that was said. Paul, what the fuck? I think I just kept saying, I didn't do anything wrong. You're not telling me what I did wrong. I think it might have even been like, was it the moss? And he wouldn't admit it. And I was like, do you want to be alone? And he's like, yes. And I was like, well, I'm not going to leave until I get an explanation of what I did wrong. And maybe an apology. But I really want to know why you bit my head off when you're the one that sought me out to talk and then bitched me out for talking. And he's like, well, I'm a get it done person. He's like, I just need to like keep moving and get things done. And talking slows me down. And I was like, oh, yeah, I know. You're like that. I was like, but you came to talk to me. I was like, and it's a good thing you came to talk to me because there's a lot to talk about. Are we going to get a bank loan or get money from your mother? Are we going to have landscapers or do it ourselves? Do we get a realtor now or do we get a realtor later? Like, and on and on. There's a lot to talk about in selling this house, and conversation is good. Keeping on the move is good, I guess. So is conversation. And you're not doing this all on your own, so you need my input. And I have ideas that are worthwhile, so you don't have to do it all alone. And so he's quiet again, and I feel like I'm gonna bash my head on the wall. I feel like I'm gonna scream. I'm going to just go to my bad place, and I'm like squeezing my hands and thinking like, just go get a Klonopin. And then all of a sudden he goes, you didn't deserve that. I'm sorry. So I went, thank you. And then I stood there for a few moments. I was like, what do I do now? He said he wanted to be alone. He didn't completely explain himself, but you didn't deserve that. It was good. And the sorry sounded real. So, but that was kind of a bitch too, though, because I like walked toward the door and I went, later. Like I couldn't be loving, and I didn't want to be, I was not ready to be loving. I was like, later. I don't even know if you saw my hand. But I did say thank you. I was like, thank you. I hope this wasn't a boring Paul and Allison fight vlog. It's still not over. He's still in bed. He got up at 2 in the afternoon. And I don't know what time it is now. It's like about 7 something. I guess he did some weeding in the backyard and he played with Poppy. He went and got us sandwiches. I mean, he's done a few things today. It's not like a migraine kind of day, but he is overwhelmed. It is overwhelming. It all feels so much more overwhelming than leaving Portland. And I'm terrified about moving to Portland for 25 reasons. I'm detaching from this house and the idea of staying, not in the house, but in Rocky Point, Long Island. It feels intolerable. So, but I miss my therapist. Okay. Love you. Bye.